Hey, welcome to the Bourbon Shop with Keith. Today we have 1920 Prohibition style Old Forester. What's the history behind this one? And more importantly, what's the taste? Let's get into it. So, Old Forester 1920. What's the significance of the name? Well, with the law of prohibition that was initiated in 1920, but also allowed 6 distilleries to continue to produce bourbon for medicinal purposes. Yeah, I still got that cough. I need some medicine. And with the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, they were still able to get that product out. Now, Old Forester is the only bourbon that was sold by the original company before, during, and after Prohibition. Now, during that time, all whiskeys had to be bottled at 100 proof. So it entered the barrel pretty much at 100 proof. But by the time of that barrel matured, it was around the 115 area. And that's because of the angel share, meaning the alcohol that evaporated throughout the aging process that condensed the proof of the bourbon. Now, Old Forester presents the 1920 Prohibition style in tribute to that era, which is why it's at that 115 proof, to represent that rich, bold flavor of days of old and to pay homage to the bourbon that was made over 100 years ago. Now, George Graven Brown establishes JTS Browns and Brothers in 1870. Now, they were the first company that put whiskey in glass-sealed bottles to ensure the constant quality of their product. Now, George Graven Brown entered into a partnership with his accountant and friend, George Foreman. But not that George Foreman. This took place in 1890. And so it became the company that we know today, Brown Foreman Company. Now, it's a couple other things that they own, different whiskeys that in brand names. Just to name a few, is Jack Daniels and Woodford Reserve. Now, as mentioned, the Prohibition, 1920 Prohibition style comes in at 115 proof. It's made up of 70% corn, 18% rye, nice rye spice, and 10% malty barley. Now, for me, on the nose, I always get a sweet chocolate taste or smell with strawberries. So I guess you could say a sweet chocolate strawberry smell. And also brown sugar and oak and a hint of like banana nut bread. But on the palate, I receive a nice amount of hot spice. It's got some heat to it because of that 115 proof that really comes through, along with some good black pepper, coffee bean, caramel, and it has a really rich, creamy mouthfeel to it. It's quite good. Now, the finish is pretty good too because it lingers on and on. I say almost up to 60 seconds. You can still taste that, the bourbon. So to me, the finishes come through with a brown sugar, some sugar and spice, and oak. Overall, this is a pretty good bourbon for the price. I think the MSRP on this is $60. Now, as I said earlier, this is part of a series called Whiskey Row, which features Old Forester 1870, which comes in at 90 proof. Old Forester 1897, bottled and bond, 100 proof. And Old Forester 1910 comes in at 93 proof. And then, of course, we have the 1920, which we're talking about today, that comes in at 115 proof. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a fan of Old Forester. I've tried most of their lineup, even the Old Forester 100 proof, I think it's a 100 proof rye, and the Old Forester, I think it comes in at 86 proof. All delicious, good quality bourbon. So for me, the whole series is pretty good. But as always, I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you have the 1920, what do you think? What notes do you get? Is this something that you would recommend? Let me know, drop a comment. And as always, if you like the content, please give me that thumbs up. That helps. And like and subscribe. I appreciate your time you're spending with me, and I will see you next time on the Bourbon Shop.